Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 154, where podcast talks about pop culture things that interest us. And sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I'm joined, as always, by Andrea. How's it going?
I'm good. Hello and happy Monday. How are you? How's your week starting out?
Yep, good, good. This week felt a little bit like we had a weekend. Normally it's, you know, just all jumbled together, but yeah,
Sure.
it felt
This felt
a little bit.
separate.
Mhm, mhm. Yep. Otherwise, yeah, it's been good. Weather's been staying awesome. Kids are healthy, so can't complain. How about you?
Yeah, I mean kind of similar. We officially kicked off December by starting to decorate for the holidays, which our oldest child loved and our because she knew it was the Christmas season, and our
Yeah,
youngest child loved because like sparkly lights and
right.
babies like shiny bright things. So
Sure.
win-win all around for all kids.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that for sure. Is this year our kids will be much more interested in the wrapping paper than the contents they're
Totally,
within. So,
totally. Yep.
but yeah.
Yeah, make sure you, like, start to, like, peel off, wrapping paper and then just let them like, tear at it. They're just gonna be like, "Ha, the best." Like,
Yeah,
whatever's inside, whatever.
we were happy today just like seeing the different toys that the kids uh, like or don't like at different times. We have
Sure.
this bumblebee that's on a cloud that rolls around and kind of randomly on the ground.
Mhm.
The idea is you plays a song as it does it. You pick up the bee off of the cloud and then it stops and spins and flashes some lights. And then it'll kind
Sure.
of wait for you to put the bee back on. And before they didn't really understand that, but now Vigo is like totally getting it today. He's like, "Yep, take it off. It does this. I'll put it right back on." So he was
That's
having a lot of
cute.
fun with that. So
That's cute.
yeah. Okay. Well, I hope everybody is out there that is going to be putting up holiday decor is doing so. Got to get
Mhm.
ready. Um, we have some probably holiday related drinks we'll end up talking about, but this show, like thematically, we're going to be talking movie trailers because all of a sudden, a whole bunch of movie trailers dropped. So
Mhm.
just like we're anticipating the holidays and gift giving, um, we maybe have some movies and shows to anticipate as well. So here's a little tease. So we'll go through those, see if we're excited or not. A couple other news stories, talk about what we've been watching, and yeah, it's gonna be chill. It's gonna be chill.
I
So,
like it.
jump in the
I like
chat.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, the
Uh,
month is gonna get crazier on the holidays, so we should start it chill at least, even if we don't end it that way.
that's right, good point. Alright, so what do we got for drinks to chill out?
Well, you can really pick kind of your holiday if you're still like the weather outside, clinging to the air of fall. You might enjoy things like November 18th was apple cider day. If you're still
Okay.
feeling that kind of seasonal drink, a precursor to Thanksgiving and the,
Warm cider.
pumpkin apple ciders. I mean, cold or
Yeah.
warm, you choose.
I feel like warm it I think fall comes around, you still drink crisp apple cider or, spiked apple cider and, alcoholic version. We're getting into December now. Probably warm it up. Put a
Yeah.
cinnamon stick in it, that kinda thing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to me, December says like you said, hot cider, mulled wine, those sorts of things.
mhm.
But if you're still like clinging to the idea of
Yeah.
seasons past, up to you, man. But if you do fancy something like a mulled wine, then November 19th, Beaujolais Nouveau Day. That is a type of wine. It is fruit forward, probably pretty good in a mulled
Sure.
variety.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're just ready to kind of like blow past the Thanksgiving, which was November 23rd, along with Espresso Day, speaking of warm things, You can get into this month, December, my least favorite themed month, because I've still never had a good variety of this. Eggnog month. Shocker to no
Okay.
one. I do not like
Mhm.
eggnog. I know way back sometime, Tony and I had a debate about this, and he was like, "No, I've got like a great recipe to send you. So Tony, if you're out there, send it. Prove me wrong.
I'll send
Otherwise,
you
my
one.
opinion stays."
I'll send you one because Shane and Emily gave me a book, Wisconsin cocktails and stuff, and then there they have kind of a homemade eggnog drink,
Okay.
and it's you don't buy any eggnog; it's all making it with eggs. So you
Okay.
need brandy for it,
I dig
and
that.
I think eggs and cream and cinnamon and cloves and all that sort of thing. So
I was gonna go so we don't generally keep brandy around the house, but I was actually gonna go buy it the other day because on a recent trip to Wisconsin, I rediscovered my love of Brandy Alexander's.
mm.
So, guess if I were to have brandy lying around, he wanted to send me a recipe, I could try it,
Yeah, I mean, I don't have brandy around either, and I have a number of recipes that call for it. I just when I look at brandy, I just don't feel like there's many options. I've been to a number of places,
right?
and it's just like, here's bottom shelf brandy. Is there nothing better? I mean, I had to. It's like brandy or cognac. I guess it's
I
just.
was gonna say, I feel like brandy does like a 0 to 60, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like bottom shelf, like low grade, and until suddenly it's
Mhm,
like, whoop, I'm super expensive up in the cognac
sure.
region, just like
Hmm.
no in between. There's no like
Yeah.
middle class brandy.
Right. Yeah.
Although, I
I
don't
don't know.
know, somebody prove me wrong out there.
Hmm. Well,
But
eggnog.
yes,
Yeah, I almost did eggnog tonight. My plan was
almost
for an eggnog drink, because we have some, like, peppermint eggnog in the fridge. So,
like a carton variety.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, wouldn't be your favorite, but it didn't happen. So,
I
hope for
mean,
next time.
you'd almost be, like, fusing 2 holidays. The 3rd was peppermint latte day, so you could really just, like,
Yeah.
make some sort of
Embrace.
concoction or something.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, well, yeah, so now I've jumped the gun, given away one of the other holidays, but t 2 others to just round it out. Um, a holiday I would like to celebrate, December 1st, National Bartender Day. Still clinging to that, even though, God, it's been, like, 10 years since I've been
Mhm.
a bartender.
Mhm.
But still claiming it. Still enough years of
I think it's
experience
been
that
longer
I
than
that I
that,
count it.
Andrea. Not to, like, burst your bubble, but I think it's been longer than that.
Yeah, it's probably been
We're
closer on the
we're
side of
gonna
15.
yeah, I'd say we're gonna be married, 10 years
I
soon,
know.
so
I know, God. Gotta keep me honest, John. How dare you? And then, today, December 4th, it is Cabernet Franc Day. So, coming back
Okay.
around to a wine holiday.
Yeah. Well, are you celebrating one of these, fine holidays?
I am not. I am not. Shame on me. I couldn't find anything that I wanted. So I'm just sticking with my water.
No worries, yeah. Um, you're supposed to have, like me, tequila over that way, all the whiskey in the world back there, so
You're
just,
showing off now.
well, the whiskey just moved back here because of the reach of the kids now, so,
Smart, smart.
yeah,
Yep. Fun
so
things you got to think about.
yep. Well, I am having a drink tonight that is really uncharacteristic of me. I would never typically do this. It's not anything fancy. I feel a little bit wrong, a little bit dirty doing it. I don't use chasers, okay? Like I make a cocktail or not. I don't do the like I'm gonna sip this thing and that. I don't hardly count. Like I'm also not a fan of like a rum and coke. I don't like
Ugh,
that or a whiskey coke.
nope.
I just don't like that sort of thing. So what happened was Ashley opened this can of soda. It's a Minnesota
Buddy
soda, local.
strawberry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Buddy Strawberry original brewery made soda. Um,
Okay.
so she opened this and is like, "You can have some of it." And okay, I'll have some of that. But I didn't really want it. I wasn't gonna let it go to waste. So I'm
Okay.
making this work. This to me reminds me a little bit of the sort of 50s style that we're gonna get in the vibes of from Fallout. We're going to talk about the
Sure.
Fallout trailer later. So this is kind of like um, their Nuka Cola, kind of reminds me of that. Nuka Cola
Sure.
in Fallout. The alcoholic part, I am going to do rum. So it's sort of a
Oh, okay.
rum and cola kind of thing, but I'm not going
Sure.
to mix them. I'm just going to drink some rum and then I'm going to drink
Some
some soda.
007 rum.
I know. That's why like I'm definitely not mixing it. I'm not going to,
I mean, you're definitely
sully.
trying to, like, represent some things we're gonna talk about, so I
I
appreciate
know.
the sacrifice on
Yes.
your part.
There's effort, And again, it's not, I'm not mixing them. I'm not mixing them.
Right, right. I
So,
got you. I was
and
really scared, I'm not gonna lie to you. When you held up the bottle at first, I saw the black back, and I thought it was a Bailey's bottle for a half a second, and I was like, what is
oh.
happening here, John? This sounds awful." But thank God. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of rum and coke either, but at least that's a little different than Bailey's and strawberry soda.
Yes. Yes. That would be, yeah, a monstrosity. That's a stomach ache waiting to happen for sure. So, okay. Let's see. Oh, let's try this combination. Let's try it like as a chaser. Anyway.
Okay. I love your adorable little glass.
That's why I picked it. Adorable. Um,
Adorable.
yeah. Adorable, darling. Adorable. Um,
Cray, cray, adorbs. Sorry, I love that commercial.
which one was that? That's been a while, isn't it?
Oh, it's been a
What
long
was
while. It's
that?
it's James Earl Jones and oh god, what's his face?
Oh man,
When they did,
was it?
like, the I think it's like a Verizon commercial. I know it's a phone company. It's either, like, Verizon or
Okay.
AT&T, but they're reading, like, 13-year-old girl texts
Mhm.
in their,
Yep.
like, deep voices. Oh
Yep.
god. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That was brilliant.
Okay, well, this is tasty, so, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
well,
complain.
good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you didn't, like, spit it out at the camera.
No. No. Okay, well, yeah, you know,
Alan, help me
it
out. Who is that other guy?
oh,
It's like Malcolm?
he's in Star Wars as well. He's, the Chancellor, right? In episode 1 of Star Wars. Isn't
But,
that who
like,
he is?
what's his
He's got
name?
gray hair.
Like,
Um,
Malcolm
no.
something?
We
Oh my
can
god,
do
like, I can see his face
Chancellor,
so clearly.
the Lorem actor, Terrence Stamp. I'm
What?
guessing that's Terrence Stamp
Yes, Terrence Stamp, that's it, that's it. Oh my god, I
because
could
he's
not
got
think
a
of
great
his name.
voice.
He does.
Oh, you know what I should have put in the rundown? I know this is going all over here, but I watched this thing. I'll have to send it to you. Maybe I can like retweet it or something like that. It's this, how they do different things and comedy bits for like Red Nose
Oh,
Day.
sorry. Yes.
Well, a while ago, apparently, Mr. Bean took part in, and a number of other actors took part in this Red Nose Day sort of comedy thing. It's a Doctor Who spoof, and it's like 20 minutes long or something. It's basically like a miniature episode of classic Doctor Who, and it's great. It's the
That's
best thing of
cute.
Doctor Who I've seen in
In
years,
years.
and
Okay,
it is just a lot of fun. So I'll have to try to find that and retweet it or something. But
got it.
what were you gonna say now? You like had an epiphany or something.
Yeah, no, Chris texted me because he's listening in. It's Malcolm McDowell is the dude.
Oh, okay. Malcolm McDowell.
So
Um,
who's Terrence Stamp? Oh my gosh, they look super similar.
Oh,
But yeah, they're
yeah.
different peeps.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
They
Yeah,
look super similar, though. I would totally
they do,
confuse
yeah.
them, especially as older gentlemen.
Yeah. Huh, okay. I think just, yeah, somewhere in my brain, I registered remembering that they were both Star Wars guys in this commercial, but my brain remembered wrong. So,
Well, if you were taking a quick glance, like I said, if you bring them up side by side in their older years, they look very similar.
sure. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
All
in,
right. Sorry, I derailed
what
us. I'm so
no,
good
no,
at
no, no.
this.
Speaking of fine British gentlemen, I know you've been watching some British show. How's that been?
I've been watching multiple British shows, but I think the first one you're referring to is Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
And Chris and I are 2 episodes away from the finale, loving it. This season, I have to say, is the first season where I have been right almost every single time about who's going home, and I feel really
Mm,
good about it.
okay.
Like, I feel
Nice.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there have been no, like, unjust, like, "Oh,
Right.
I'm burning at this one." Every time I'm like, "It's this person." There was definitely, like, one
Mm.
cut that I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss that person because they were really funny, but, like, they weren't as good." So I was like, "I can let you go." So,
If I feel like if Ian Fleming was a Great British Baking Show fan, he'd be playing those odds with you. He'd be at Vegas and high stakes betting
right?
on who's gonna win.
If my yeah,
Yeah.
if my life right now was an Ian Fleming novel and I was watching Great British Baking Show, I'd be watching it with, like, 6, like, Grandad and sodas, and he'd be
Mhm.
telling "Oh, did you, like, eat your, fish dinner with your 7 courses?" And
Mhm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe talk about the way I did my hair that day.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I would be watching Great British Baking Show with, like, money on it about who's going
Yep.
home.
That's right. Yep. And speaking of which, I bought branch water. I
You
ordered branch
did!
water. Yeah, I don't think I
Have you
mentioned
tried it
that.
yet?
So, nope, nope, I have not tried it yet. So I'm
Is it
hoping
here?
to.
Did you get it?
It is. Yep.
Okay.
And it like comes with instructions and all this. So I'm yeah, I'm hoping to have that to have make a bourbon and branch water for
For
our next
Russia.
discussion. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Sure. Well, that'll be good. That'll be fun. Hopefully, maybe it makes a reappearance. I mean, I'm
I don't
just
think
into
so.
the part where, like, James Bond is actually introduced. He has a whole very, very long intro to for Russia with from Russia with Love. That's, like, not
Yeah.
even doesn't even involve James for, like, 60 some pages.
Yeah. So for those unaware, we've been going through
Yep.
the Bond novels, the anniversary ones in particular, and comparing the movie to the novel. And yeah, we're on From Russia with Love, and yeah, we've both started it. So
Mhm.
I'm still not to James Bond. I'm in the Bond
It's
book.
coming soon, but yeah, it's a long intro. It's some long exposition. If this was a TV show, you would be lost by now. I think neither of
Okay.
us would be continuing.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, because we both hate
Sure.
exposition so much. I think if it was that, it would be rough.
I mean, it is exposition, but I I don't know. I don't look at that. I'm not looking at it that way exactly. Maybe it will feel that way when I get to the Bond part, because I understand it is setting up the threat, but I think it's kind of cool that we are seeing the villains this way,
Sure.
and I don't know, it's just something different.
Sure.
Because I feel
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
what's unfolding is realistic. My
Yeah,
problem with exposition is when things are unfolding in an unnatural manner.
sure. Sure. I mean, I don't wanna, like, preview this too much because 'cause we're gonna have our own discussion about it,
Yeah.
but I do feel there's some, like drawn out elements. There are parts where I agree with you where it's cool to, like, get the villain's side first,
Mhm.
and get, like, I mean, villainy is a matter of perspective, but, yeah, there are some moments where I was like, if this was a TV show and we were shooting this, like, scene by scene, I would,
Right.
peace out.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
But speaking of our friend Double O, I did start the first episode 1 of Road to a Million on
Okay.
Amazon.
Mhm.
I like the premise.
Mhm.
I like our host, Brian Cox.
Mhm.
I'm not so sure about the show itself and its relation to James Bond.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the challenges don't seem very Bondy. So I
Well,
don't know if it's because it's early and I've only seen 1 episode, so I'd be willing to keep going because I like, the trivia questions. Obviously, they
mhm.
speak to, like, your knowledge of I mean, some of it's, like, your knowledge of history, which I love, but some of it's just kind of, like, random things. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't seem very related just yet.
Well, I'll say how it relates, in my opinion, is one, it's locations. So they're definitely using
Right.
locations from the films. And then two, it's the idea of the sense of adventure, exploration, and danger. And
Mhm.
so those kinds of things, most of the challenges revolve around that in some
Sure.
fashion or another. Um,
I just feel like
you
it's a
know,
little loose in the first episode. I could have used like a splashy tie-in to get me
yeah.
you know what I mean? Just to get me right away on, like, Bond things, and then maybe we could
Mhm,
do more, like, general things.
yeah. I Yeah. I would say if you have time and you're so inclined, watch the next episode and see if you think that opinion has changed
Sure.
and whether you want to continue. Because I've only watched the first two episodes, I believe.
Mhm.
I would be good continuing, but I honestly can kind of take I have an issue with usually with reality shows to begin with. It's always been one of those things where other than Housewives back in the day, I basically if it was on television sort of thing,
Mhm.
you know?
Yep.
It wasn't like, I'm gonna push other things aside to make this happen. There is one like, the thing that's gotten me most, like, riled about it is this one couple and what this husband asks of his wife. I'm like,
Okay.
I
This
couldn't
this
watch the show
obviously
back.
must
I would be
be in
so
episode 2.
embarrassed of myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I just
Well, now I'm
oh,
seriously intrigued.
yeah. Uh, I don't know.
You
I
obviously would
just
not
don't.
ask this of Ashley.
No, I would not. I would not
Okay.
ask this of Ashley.
I'm gonna watch it and see
2
what Chris
2
would say.
things. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I just couldn't do it. Like, e yeah. You'll see what you think. Maybe it's, like,
Okay.
sexist of me or something, but it's like, I couldn't have her do this. It's
Okay.
not
Okay.
cool. So,
Yeah. I saw that you'd watched it, and I'd long time ago thought like, "Oh, this would be interesting." Like, I wonder what people get asked to do, and yeah, like I said, so far I'm a little, like, iffy. It's not a bad, like, general reality show. It just doesn't
right.
seem like 007 yet to
Yeah.
me, so I'm just, like,
It's
kinda waiting.
well
I
shot.
It is, it's
Better
gorgeous,
yeah, and I do think
but,
Brian Cox should just be a Bond villain. I should just put him in a
yeah, no,
movie
if this is his, like, world's longest audition tape, nailed it.
right. Yep.
So
Yep. Cool.
So yeah, so I watched that. Other than that, I really haven't watched much else of note. Been kind of getting back in. I really drifted away. So I have lots to catch up on, which is kind of nice that I can binge. Just catching up on some webtoons. Kind of like getting
Sure.
back into that medium, just grabbing a quick 5 minutes here or there and getting into webtoons again.
It's nice to take that break so you really can just, like, move through some
Binge.
things. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. Ashley does that too every once in a while. It's like, "Oh, I'm kinda in between games right now. I'll just, like, catch up on my series," you know?
Yeah.
I have 3 series or whatever that she reads and yeah. Cool. Well, that sounds good. It's a good mix. I have a really big mix actually of just things this week that I've been doing the last couple weeks, really. One I wanted to mention was that I forgot to mention before. This was during more the Halloween kind of time frame,
Okay.
and it's Talk to Me. The movie Talk to Me. It's an Australian movie. I think it's made by a couple people that are. It's their first film, if I'm not mistaken, and it's really good. Again, a horror movie, and it's kind of a unique premise. I
Okay.
love possession sort of things, but I think again, I've mentioned before, it's a difficult thing to try to be fresh about. I also hate kids and the youth in movies most of the time, and this is a movie full of like the youths.
See you. God.
Yeah, I mean, because they're like
Uh,
teens, and so that sort of thing. And but they were well acted. There are some unexpected things. It is well shot. Again,
okay.
every time now I see something new and it's well shot, I just have a newfound appreciation for it
Mhm.
because like just from the cinematography, the lighting, and the editing, the framing of scenes, I feel like so much stuff just has thrown all that classic knowledge out the window.
Sure.
And so when I see something that looks really good, it just brings it up a notch for me. But yeah, I highly recommend Talk to Me if you were looking for a horror movie. I know this is a little late to recommend it yet now, as we approach the
Not
Christmas
really.
season, but
Not really. I just saw a trailer for a new horror movie that looked almost cool and then really stupid. It was Night Swim
okay,
by the
okay,
creators of the Megan the Doll movie.
okay,
Um and it's like a haunted presence in a pool and then there's pool people. I don't know.
that sounds weird. Hmm.
Yeah, like it was an almost interesting premise and then suddenly like it was awful. Do you know and,
Okay.
like, it was all mixed up, like, there was, like, a cool theme song, the trailer felt creepy and weird, and then it, like, got to showing the pool people, and I was like, "This is no longer cool."
The pool people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what they call them, and I was like,
Sure.
"Okay."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I mean,
maybe I'm
if
wrong,
you're in
maybe,
a
like, the full movie is cool, but yeah, I was like, "Ah, we're still, like, throwing out horror movies, great." No.
mhm. If you were in a scary situation, would you take the time to think up a cool, like, sticky sort of title for the monster, or would you just be the efficient the pool creatures, like
I mean, at least I would have called them the pool creatures or like, I don't know, water creatures, something. I don't know. Pool
Yeah.
people just sounds like, "Hey, pool people. Hey,
Yeah.
party people. Hey, cool people." Like, it just doesn't
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't
Sure.
like, the way the actress said it maybe or something, but I was just like, "I am turned off. This is not
Yep.
scary."
Yep. MJ is in the chat dropping fun
Hello.
emotes. So hello, MJ.
Very
That's
seasonal. I love it. I love how festive you
yeah.
are.
Yeah, she made some new so for those that don't know, MJ, our friend, she has a channel MJ Honeybee on Twitch where she regularly streams Dead by Daylight. So make sure you follow her. And yeah, if you subscribe to her channel, you get new Christmas themed emotes, emoji
Cute.
things.
This
So
is
yeah.
this is very, white Christmas of you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, MJ. Let's see. Again, my week has been all over the place. Couple more comedic things. Again, we don't get into like politics in here and stuff like that, so I'm not going to give a review, but I do want to mention it because I watched it and just say that I enjoyed it. There's a movie, Lady Ballers, and it's a
Okay.
very like comment on culture sort of movie. It's mixed in terms of acting, but actually quite funny. I really enjoyed it. If you are a member of Daily Wire, you've heard of it, and I'm just saying you should watch it. Support the thing, give it a shot. I'll maybe, if I feel like it, on my personal Twitter give a further review if I want or something, or you can ask me about it there, whatever. But
Okay.
it was enjoyable. Ash and I watched it a couple nights ago. Um, Sticking further on comedies, Taskmaster. Pete turned me on to Taskmaster. Again, it's completely free on YouTube, and it's like a British comedy show. They have 5 comedians, different comedians each series. Each series is only like 6 episodes long, and the Taskmaster just creates silly tasks for these
That's right. I
comedians to
remember
compete
this.
in, and they're hilarious. It's fun kind of getting to know the comedians a little bit and how they interact during each series, and then sad when it's the next series and they're going to go away. So we're almost done with the second series. We're on the final episode of the second series, and again, it's completely free on YouTube. I like British comedy. These guys, it's been a good time. So,
Good.
and I don't know how many seasons series there are right now, but it's at least like I think it's in the double digits, so there's plenty to watch. So, um, and then I started playing some more Horizon Forbidden West. I have so much more of that game past the end credits. Did some of that today. Felt like I got back into it pretty good. And then
Nice.
I'm pumped for Dune. I'm pumped for Dune. So I've been listening to the Dune Sketchbook album. I just want to let people know about
Okay.
that because if you're into soundtracks, the Dune soundtrack is phenomenal, but there's a kind of companion album. It's called the Dune Sketchbook album. So it's by Hans Zimmer as well, but it's extra
Okay.
stuff not in the regular score, and
That's fun. Like a
that's
little
fun to listen
bonus.
to. Yeah, yeah. So it's on all your streaming music services if you want. Listen to it there.
Very
So,
cool.
all right. Let's move into news. I was going to start with this one other thing, but being I just talked about this album here, Dune Sketchbook, that I'm really
Sure.
enjoying and having a good time with streaming on Apple Music. Let's talk about the digital future, and yeah, your streaming future. We talk about streaming platforms and stuff on here all the time, but
Mhm.
now here's a story that I think it's actually from Kotaku, believe it or not, that I
Mhm.
think is um, it's going to be a thing that happens more and more as we
Yeah.
go forward. So, PlayStation to delete a ton of TV shows users already paid for. That is
Mhm.
the headline. Just a few days ago, this came out, and basically, this has something to do with an agreement, licensing agreement between Discovery TV
Mhm.
and Sony here, or whatever. Because
Yeah.
we know that there was the whole merger with Discovery and HBO, and I don't know what's all happened there, but there are like tons of shows that are just if you bought them, they're in your digital library. It's going to come up to a point where you just cannot access them anymore.
Yep.
Before, it's like, well, at least if you could download something, then you could keep watching it as long as you had it on your device. I
Right.
don't think I don't know if that's even an option. It's just not going to work.
It doesn't sound
So,
like it.
yeah, because that's how I feel like it normally works. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's stuff like Barbecue Pitmasters, Betrayed, Big and Little, uh, Mythbusters, Cake Boss, all those kind of, Cash Cab, all those sorts of things that would be Discovery kind of reality types of shows. It's a
Right.
big in the list there. So, Andrea, your thoughts. What do you think about this?
So, yeah, I think if I was one of these people that bought and paid for content that I was promised, I would be pissed. Because to me, it's different than like when you rent something. You know what I mean? Like when you pay to rent
Hmm.
something on like Amazon Prime or you pay to rent something for like 24 hours or whatever, like you're getting this short term. When you buy something, you expect to have it. It means I
Yeah.
now own this thing. I have access forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
Whereas like Streaming services also, I think the idea is that you pay for access to things, but they move content on and off platforms all the time so much that, like, you don't really I mean, I say that in the terms of, like, Netflix. You don't really expect
Mhm.
to ever own anything on Netflix. I mean,
Right.
I guess you can't even expect to own anything on HBO either, I was gonna say that, but they're removing what did they remove? Westworld.
Oh,
They decided
yeah.
to remember? Yeah. So, like, they don't even keep their own content.
Yeah.
But they never have, like, sold you on, "You have bought Westworld, now we are, like, deleting it." They've sold you on, "You're buying access to our stuff. We can upload and remove as we choose." In
Yeah.
this case,
Right.
if you've bought something that like, specific show, I would be really upset,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's BS.
I mean, my question is, and I have not heard this, are you gonna compensate your customers?
I was wondering that if there's gonna be some sort of, like, refund, but, like, I don't know, I feel like they can get away with not doing it. As icky as it
I
seems, I
suppose.
think they can.
I mean, I don't think someone like Apple could. I don't think Apple could,
No.
but Sony, I guess, will fly under the radar enough. Like their people purchasing things from them is probably down the list,
Right.
versus like buying things through Amazon or through Apple or even Google.
Well, I mean, I don't wanna be, like, too mean here, but, like, the shows that they listed aren't exactly, like, blockbuster premiere, gonna get a lot of, like,
What if
splashy
someone
attention.
was on Cash Cab season 14 or whatever? They were on it and
Right.
they
Or
now
or
they can't watch
on
themselves.
Long Island Medium.
No, yes, that is mean, Andrea, but you're right.
It
You're
is.
absolutely right. Yes, you're right.
I don't know, I don't think anybody here thought they were, like, premier, anchor television or whatever, but I
Mhm.
mean, it
S
still doesn't mean somebody didn't pay for something and shouldn't be upset about the fact that,
Right.
like, it's been unceremoniously yanked away with no, like, "Here's what we're gonna do about it." It's just like,
Yeah.
"Sorry, by this date, it's being phased out because of stuff."
Mhm. Right. I don't is this gonna matter, Andrea, at all? Like, are we just gonna the masses are just in general going to accept you buy things digitally or you pay for a streaming service to access content and all of that can just go away and it's just fine because there's just enough content. It's like one of those things like do you care about the thing or do you care about having more content and
Sure,
preserving the thing or just having access to the latest thing?
sure. I think if someone's really smart, they're going to invent whatever the new, like, movie or DVD is, and it's gonna be, like, nostalgia, but new technology, and it's gonna be, like,
Mm,
cool, you know what I mean?
interesting.
Somebody's gonna,
Okay.
like, corner that market if they're really smart because it literally is the thing you've had before now in, like, a newer cool technology form, and it has to be
Interesting.
something, like, really inventive and different. Different enough that everybody's gonna want it for the nostalgia, but also for the new. Somebody's gonna think of it. It's not me, obviously. I can't think of what it would even be. But yeah, if somebody's really
Okay.
smart, that's what they're gonna do. Everybody's gonna rush to, like, get their, like, sentimental thing on this new technology. And then they're gonna
Okay.
buy, like, new players, new ways that you have to watch this thing to access the content to, whatever. It's the same thing that happened with DVDs. Like, we all had to buy new technology along with our new format.
Hmm. See, I was under the assumption, and maybe it'll go the way you suggest, but that we're at the end of new formats. That's it. 4K UHD Blu-rays, that's it. And 8K is, machines are capable of 8K. There'll be 8K content at some point. But we're like at like a point here where the quality is good enough for basically everyone. No one is asking for a clearer, sharper picture. No one's asking for that. No one's like, "Oh, that 4K picture, that sure looks like dog crap."
Sure.
Like I it just that's not a thing. And then HDR color, no one's asking for better. And
Mhm.
I don't see the situation where any market forces drive a higher quality content requirement. Um, and I don't see, therefore, people buying into, oh, buy the 8K Blu-ray now. Buy the
But see, you're still
8K.
thinking 8K Blu-ray. Whatever this technology is isn't gonna be a Blu-ray. It's gonna be something like, like, oh, you get your own, like, mini projector that, like,
Hmm.
does 8 different things in your home too. You know what I mean? It's gotta be something, like, nostalgic but new.
But the
Like, it's a
content,
new
I think, will
format,
still be delivered digitally then, because the
but you'll have the
content
physical
providers,
thing.
but then you'll be locked to that physical thing. Like, if it's a
Yeah,
device,
yeah.
see, but then
It's gonna
you're
make a
you're
resurgence. I
hmm.
think a physical device is gonna make a resurgence.
I mean, like, I know Apple wants that physical device to be their AR, VR headset thing. You sit
Yeah.
down and the movie theater unfolds in front of you and you watch Mandalorian. God knows why you do that, but then you have like all around you, you're on another desert planet in Star Wars land. And, you know, but it will just be like you'll just buy that movie digitally through the Apple store and
Sure.
then can play it on that. Because retailers want you to they spend money on DVDs and distribution, like actually physically getting a physical thing, pressing it on that disc, and then distributing it across the world costs them gallons of money. So if they can just drop it on their website or all these digital platforms, way cheaper, way cheaper.
For sure.
And
For sure. I agree with you. I
I
just
don't know.
think it's gonna
Yeah.
happen at some point. People are gonna
I would be
be just
interested.
mad enough that I
I'd be
think they're gonna
interested
want a
in whatever
physical
this is.
thing.
Okay. All right. All right.
Somebody's gonna capitalize on it. Somebody's gonna do it.
I'm hoping for your vision of the future, Andrea, where physical things still matter, but we'll see. Okay. Speaking of things that matter or not, I don't know. What is this, Andrea? What is this T Swizzle stuff? I have
Oh
zero
god.
idea what this is.
Oh god, I was just, like, scrolling I was doom scrolling on my phone the other day and, saw this trailer pop up and just I mean, the trailer was, like, 10 seconds long, but it was, like, the longest eye roll. Like, that's how I can describe this trailer. That's how they should brand it. So Hulu is coming out with a documentary in partnership, I think, with some branch of ABC Media that is called Travis and Taylor. And it is literally chronicling the relationship of Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelsey, and obviously, like, huge, amazing, maybe biggest or semi biggest pop star ever, Taylor Swift. Because I don't want to like anger the Bayhive out there. So, I mean, however you like position these ladies,
That's what it is,
um,
huh? Bayhive. Okay.
I
Yikes.
believe that's what it is.
Okay.
So the reason that this is the biggest eye roll is because Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift have been dating since maybe September. They've been
Okay.
talking since this summer, apparently, according to their official timeline. And I vaguely remember hearing something about him, like, attending one of her concerts back in the summer. But they've maybe been officially dating since September, maybe in a relationship since October. It is December, and there's a full-blown documentary about their, like, what, 1-month relationship, promising new interviews, new stuff, and I'm like, what is there? What like, literally, what is I don't even know what you could have. I don't even know what this is gonna be about.
I mean, this feels like a long-term relationship for Taylor Swift. I don't know, isn't it? Right? This is meaningful.
Like,
And
this
think of
is
the
like every
songs that are gonna come out of this when they break
I
up.
mean,
Man, it's gonna be a
then
lot of
make
songs.
a documentary then. At least you'll have new music to talk about. I don't even know what you can talk about in this documentary.
Well,
I
you're gonna watch it
literally
to
have
find out,
probably
right? And report back?
talked longer than this documentary is. Um, Yes, no, I can't watch this. I can't do it. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm so sorry. Like,
Is it?
this is Hulu just, like, desperation to the max for
Mhm.
viewership. This is
Yeah.
needy, naked desperation, and it is just sad.
Mm.
I just
Well,
can't with this. I just can't.
okay.
Like, I saw
I
it,
mean, I
and
learned a lot. I learned a lot just right now, so,
I
you
really
know.
thought it couldn't be real. I thought it was a joke, but no, this is a real thing with real people agreeing to be filmed for this.
Mhm,
Oh
mhm.
god.
I mean, maybe we can add some sort of, like, conspiratorial elements to this. They knew in
Maybe.
advance. It's a setup for the publicity.
I mean,
I don't really
honestly,
know.
like, everybody's been arguing that this whole, like, romance is a PR stunt or whatever, and, like, the NFL gets boosted viewership, because Swifties learn about football and, like, men can be like,
Do
"Oh, I
they?
relate to Taylor Swift now." Like, I don't know. I don't know. If it's a publicity stunt, like, everybody's capitalizing on it in a very great way in terms of, like, profitable for them in terms of
Mhm,
exposure. Um, but yeah, this is just, like, one of the most cringe things I've ever
mhm.
seen, and I can't believe this is real.
Have you listened to, any of Taylor Swift's recent-ish music?
Yeah, recent-ish.
Okay, alright. My brother-in-law says that their stuff is very good, her last album or whatever. I don't think I've heard a
Yeah.
single song.
I mean, I've never thought like Taylor Swift. I mean, I thought she was a little bit early on in her career. I was a little bit tired of the breakup songs. I wanted her to grow and evolve. And I think she clearly has. She's proved she can write more than a breakup song. Um, so I mean, obviously my initial opinion wasn't that she wasn't talented. It's just like I wanted to maybe expand her horizons a bit. Um, so yeah, so I think she does make incredible music. It's just that, like, this is just one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Mhm,
Not saying she has anything
mhm.
to do with it, but anybody who is,
Right.
like, on
Yeah.
this is just riding some coattails for a 15 minutes, and I can't believe it's real. I can't believe
Yep.
anybody thought to do this and make this happen and promote it like, "Hey, come watch this. This will be good."
Mhm, mhm. Alright, well, thank you very much for that. One
Yep.
thing
You're
that,
welcome for ruining your day.
no,
Because
I just
my
did
day
it.
was ruined by the knowledge that this is in existence, so had to spread
I
it.
I know more about pop culture right now than I did 5 minutes ago, so there we
The more
are.
you know.
Right. Um, Speaking of, things that, you know, well, they exist and hopefully are good. I am actually looking forward to this. Um,
There's, like, no segue
th
to get out
I
of this
had one
rant
and
that I just
I
had.
lost it, so then I'm like, oh, there,
It's the
Dune.
brain cells you lost thinking about the fact that
That's
this is
what
in
it is.
existence.
Ah, that's I'm never gonna get that brain matter back. Shoot.
Nope, I'm so sorry.
Um, no, it's okay. It's okay. I have lots to spare. Dune 2 is was supposed to be out now, actually,
Yes.
and it got delayed,
Mhm.
unfortunately. But I did hear that they are spending the extra time they have to like polish and work through things more. So it's not just sitting on the shelf done. They're using the time to work on it more. So it's coming out this spring now, and
Great.
they just released some posters. And I know posters, whatever, but I'm pumped for Dune. It's like my most anticipated film, and I like the extra little sneak peek, I guess, at some characters that I can be looking forward to,
Sure.
because I am hoping to, we're reading Bond now. I am hoping to get going on Dune this winter. It's my plan, the books. And yeah, I'm pumped to know more and see how this first book gets wrapped up in part two. So these posters are cool looking. Did you get to
Yeah.
look through them at all? Or do you see them popping up online?
No, no, I'm witnessing afresh. This is brand new. But I mean, I like them. They're very simple,
Mhm.
but it's the essence. I mean, it's the color palette, obviously, of the film. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just like simple character distilled essence. I like it.
Um, okay. M MJ, sending us on a tangent here, just briefly. She's asking, "Are you gonna put Mario Kart out into existence on your for your audience? LOL, if this is a quiet thing, and just give me an OMG." Yeah, no, I thought I mentioned it on, the anime show, but basically I'm gonna
Mhm.
be trying to do a Mario Kart stream with
Yes.
friends and stuff here. So, yes, that will be happening sometime. Don't you worry. Um, anyways, yeah, Dune, I'm excited by some of the new casting. Christopher Walken is in this movie, so I'm pumped about that. And, the oft misnamed person, Florence Pugh,
Oh yeah.
she is, in this movie now as well. So, yeah, I, uh I don't know. I've been listening to the Dune music, and, have you watched Dune just once? Like, were you able to see it in theater?
Dune?
Yeah.
I watched Dune streaming
Oh, you
because we
did? Okay.
covered Dune. We covered Dune for the
Yeah.
podcast.
Just remember if you'd seen it more than once or if you managed to
Yes.
see it in theater.
I did not manage to see it in theater. I'm hoping to for part 2.
Yeah.
Um, but I watched it twice because I watched it once for the podcast, and then I rewatched it, I think, because we had to delay our show on it, and then I really wanted to watch it afresh because it was so long that I was like, "No, I need to
Okay.
watch this again." And then Chris ended up watching it with me, which was actually pretty perfect. So
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I remember we had Pete on the show, and his qualm was, that he didn't know there was a part 1, and he didn't like the
yeah.
idea that there's no conclusion there. Just leaves on a cliffhanger type of thing. So,
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I watched it being a little taken aback also, just thinking like it was gonna be Dune because they didn't say it was like Dune Part 1,
yeah.
until, like, the conclusion, and it was like, "Oh, okay," but I don't think I was as taken aback as Pete was.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, for anyone out there interested in Dune, again, coming out this spring, make sure to go
Mhm,
and take a look at the new character posters they just released. So,
mhm.
from one desert environment to another, Furiosa. So,
Yeah,
we're getting into the trailers now. The movie trailer section. Again, a whole bunch of things are released, more than we've put on the show notes here, or anything like that. But, sorry, were you say something?
no, I was just gonna say Austin Butler is in this, in Dune, and I didn't know that. He's very,
Okay.
very cool looking. His, like, angular cheekbones, I mean, just
Yeah.
perfect there.
Yeah. Yep. Um, so have you seen Mad Max? So for those that don't know,
Yes.
Furiosa is a prequel movie to Mad Max Fury Road.
I haven't seen that, but I have seen Mad Max. So I haven't seen Fury Road.
Oh, oh, Andrea.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh. Okay. Wow. So have you seen just the first Mad Max?
Yes. Yeah, just the OG.
I would love to do all the Mad Max movies on this show.
Sure.
Like, that would be fun. We could do a retro rewind to, like, Mad Max and, like, Thunderdome and go through those. Because I've never managed to get all the way through the first Mad Max. Just hasn't kept
Okay.
me,
Yeah.
but I'd like to watch those, and then you gotta see Fury Road. Oh my gosh.
I know, I know. I mean, it always looked good. It wasn't like I didn't think it was going to be good. I just never got around to it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Charlize Theron plays a character known as
Mhm.
Furiosa. in
I've
Mad
seen
Max Fury
clips though,
Road.
so it's not like I'm entirely unfamiliar.
Right. Yeah. And they're back. They're going to be doing another Mad Max, but they're doing this sort of again prequel that's telling the backstory of Charlize Theron's Furiosa, but this time she's played by Anya Taylor-Joy,
Mhm.
which is strange. They don't really look the same, but I don't know.
Like, I
I
could
guess.
sort of maybe, it's not like the worst dissimilarity.
Hmm.
It's not all the way improbable, but it's not great. I mean, I do appreciate I was, like, reading a couple of interviews about the making of Furiosa, and, they were like, "We thought about digitally de-aging Charlize for this and just decided, like, there's enough of enough of, like, a dip in quality for, like, face framing that you
Sure.
can't do it. We're not there." And
Okay.
I appreciate that, like, the knowledge and the recognition of, like, we thought about it and we just can't.
Hmm. Yep. Um, I will say, like, I have a Mad Max graphic novel. I don't know if it said it in there in the intro sort of thing, or if in some behind the scenes things. Because I actually rewatched Fury Road not all that long ago. I rewatched it in a couple parts when the kids were a little younger. I was like rocking them to sleep and stuff. Um, and uh, the way I recall someone putting it was that the Mad Max stuff, anyways, is the way they sort of frame it as if it's tales from this time, and so
Yeah,
things could be misremembered and wrong, and so it's kind of their excuse for characters to change or to events to be, it's like because
sure.
obviously went from Mel Gibson in the original movies to Tom Hardy,
Right.
and we just because I guess there was a discussion there and they moved on from that or whatever. So
Sure.
um I think that kind of gives them clearance to go ahead and
Right. They're more
change
like
this character that's only been in one movie.
right, they're disembodied tales rather than like this is the person.
Yeah.
And that's not like a bad framing
Mhm.
to, like you said, do a recasting and kind of do what you want and just sort of like have a vague outline of a character and just we'll get somebody to fill it
Yep.
or get somebody to like portray that character. That's not bad.
Yep.
Um I think so watching this, I had two main thoughts about why I was kind of worried about this.
Okay.
And one is I think Anya Taylor-Joy looks great. Her voice did
Hmm.
not feel strong as a
Okay.
character.
Okay.
So like the
I'll have to watch it again.
couple of speaking moments she had, I was a little worried about like her sort of like softish voice and
Mhm.
about that being like very distracting. Could be wrong, could just be, cherry picked moments that weren't her best, but I was
Mhm.
just a little worried about that.
I mean, I would be okay as a prequel to see her grow into the Furiosa we know in Mad Max Fury Road, and
Mhm.
that maybe, it makes sense that she hardens over time.
Right.
Um, so
You
maybe
just get
there's a
worried because
performance moment
sometimes
there.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. That could be totally being too harsh, and maybe we need to, like, watch the story unfold, and there'll be, like, the connection there. It just seemed like some of the shots were already in those, like, chaotic, like,
Mhm.
battle-hardened moments. Again, fleeting impressions, it's a trailer. The other thing I was worried about is things looked really clean.
Okay.
Like, not apocalyptic and dirty and rough and ready enough.
Hmm. Okay.
People looked clean. People looked artistic and cinematic and creative, but not necessarily like real people. And this could be like I could be, convinced of a, theme and overarching theme of like, again, these are stories. They don't necessarily have to be the nitty gritty real, but some of it just looked awfully pretty.
Okay.
So I'm a little worried
We
about that.
need to watch Fury Road because there is definitely it is a stylistic film. It is
Okay.
absolutely a stylized version of reality, a heightened reality. There's acting in it that is like it's extreme, and it's an extreme movie on like every front, on
Sure.
pace, on color grading, on like tone and music. It's is high and it yes, highly stylized. So to me, seeing this, it looked as if it fit right in, and that was my
Sure.
only concern. Is like I hope it's not too samey as Fury Road.
Sure.
It needs to distinguish
Sure.
itself somehow.
Right.
So,
Yeah, this took me back to like watching a trailer for like 300.
yeah, sure. Stylized again, like, going after the comic book kind of idea.
Mhm.
Yes. Mhm. Yep. Okay. Well, cool. We will talk more about this when you've watched Fury Road.
Yes, maybe
Um,
I'll have a whole fresh new take and be like, "Past Andrea, you didn't know what you were talking about."
from one apocalyptic world to another, Fallout. Fallout
Yes.
is a video game series that's been around for quite some time, and now on Amazon, they are going to be putting out a live action television show based on this game series.
Mhm.
It is made by those responsible for Westworld. Um,
That was my
and we have a
biggest,
trailer.
like, excitement about that,
Okay.
when I saw that pop up. Although I did have to laugh when it said, like, brought to you by the people behind Westworld and the people behind 2-day shipping. I did have to
Yeah.
laugh. Like, that was
Yeah. That's good.
Amazon, well done, well done. We don't
Mhm.
always, give you your due. You've made some massive mistakes on some of your series, but that was very funny.
Yep. Yep. That was good. Um, do you have any exposure to Fallout, the game?
Um, Very vague general storyline exposure,
Okay.
but no, like, I have never logged any actual playing time.
Okay. Yeah. Ashley's a big fan. I've really only watched her play many hours of it and played a little
Sure.
bit of Fallout 76. Um,
Did you watch this
and
at all and think anything of it?
we both agree it looks good. Like in this day and
Mhm.
age, especially in adaptations, we're not holding our breath. I don't expect it to be good, but by the trailer, I mean, it looks like
Pleasantly
Fallout, and
surprised?
yeah, it looks well done.
Mhm.
It almost looks like it feels almost like some of the vistas. Would remind me of Westworld. It
Yes,
looks like that.
absolutely.
I wonder if they have the same either cinematographer, some of them that are involved, or
Sure,
effects team or something, because there
sure.
is something of it that tonally
Set
reminds me of
design,
that.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I felt that way too, but I was pleasantly surprised that it still felt different enough. You know
Okay.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, when I watched it, I wasn't like, "Oh boy, this is just like Westworld variant 1," you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, game adaptations are coming around now. It's like
Yeah.
the thing. There's a lot of them, and it's a mixed bag. But at least we're getting winners and losers.
Yep.
Losers like the Halo series. Holy shit! And then winners, like a lot of people agree, Last of Us, even if it
Yeah,
takes a lot of liberties. So
I liked that,
yeah,
yeah. I liked that a lot, having had no exposure. I mean, again, storyline, but never any playing time exposure.
yeah, yeah. So Fallout, it's coming on like Chris's birthday. Uh
Yeah.
and so easy way to remember it. And yeah, I'm I I said to someone cautiously optimistic with emphasis on the cautiously. So
Yes. Yep, I
and
think that's
then
fair.
we yeah. And then something I'm more optimistic than cautiously about. House of the Dragon season 2. So we have a trailer for
Yeah,
that now,
baby.
and we kinda get a little, just to see what your thoughts are on this. We both liked season 1, so
Yes. Yeah, no, I loved the trailer for season 2. I think it reminded us of exactly the rage, anguish, pain, heartbreak that season 1 ended on, and just, like, threw us right into Rhaenyra's mindset without actually giving a whole bunch away. Like,
okay.
it was, I think, a very emotional trailer, and it was a very
Mm,
just, like, "We're gonna give you feelings, but no, like, story." Do you know what I mean?
sure.
Because, like, the
Yeah.
story is we're at war.
Yeah,
What else do we need to give you right now? We just need to get you
right.
back into that, like, violence and chaos, and I mean, the trailer also used, I think, the spectacle and grandeur of the dragons to tease us about, like, this is a war with dragons. That's what's
You're
gonna
right.
be different. So, I think if the actual season lives up to the trailer, it's gonna be great. If they
Okay,
use their money well in effects, I'm so here for it.
okay. I was I was a little disappointed by the trailer. I mean, of
Okay.
all these trailers, I was like, I'm ready to go for Furiosa. House of Dragon, I'm kind of still spoiled of the trailers during earlier Game of Thrones where they'd be playing like Florence Florence and the Machine, Florence. Um
Okay,
it's
I'm
a
guessing it's Florence and the
musician.
Machine.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Yeah. They're playing her song, it's a trailer, and it's like, this is so cool. And
Sure,
I didn't get the feeling that much. It didn't feel epic enough. And by what we saw on the screen, it, I'm sure it will be epic. It just, I don't know, somehow the pacing of it, things cut fast. And I get they don't want to give things away. Um,
sure,
it doesn't dampen my excitement for season 2. I'm very excited for this show. It's the show I'm most excited for. But yeah, I thought they could have done a little something to sell this a bit more.
sure.
Was
That's fair. Yeah, and whereas I liked the frenzy because I felt like that's where we left off, was just, like, storm of emotions, so I felt like right in, like I said, right in Rhaenyra's mindset.
sure. Yeah. Okay. We powered through them all. And all the trailers that dropped. Yeah, there were more again. There was they dropped the Boys trailer, a Halo. Ugh, not
Yes.
talking about that. All kinds of things. And but I thought these were maybe the important ones.
The biggest,
And
yeah. Stuff we're
yeah.
excited
Yeah,
for
yeah.
too.
Mhm. I'll just as a last news thing throw out there, everybody, if you're interested in Grand Theft Auto, the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer
Yeah.
just leaked. So they were forced to just like put it out officially. It's out there now. I don't care about Grand Theft Auto, but millions and millions and millions of people do. And it does look impressive. So, um, yeah.
Chris went through a GTA phase, I remember. I think in
Oh,
college, if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty brief because I think he had moved on to, oh my god, Assassin's Creed pretty
Oh,
soon
okay.
after. But there
Sure.
was, like, a brief moment in time, I remember, I think, coming into his dorm room and seeing him play GTA.
I mean, like I think the biggest game in the world right now really is like Fortnite. I love it, but
Yeah.
the kind of constant, probably the best sold game ever, I would have to think is going to be, if it's not already, GTA 5, because of Grand Theft Auto Online.
Mhm.
It's just like played
Sure,
by millions of people. So
sure.
well, that's what's happening. That's our episode. Make sure everybody goes out there and subscribes to Podcast on the Rocks. We're on YouTube and podcast directories,
Mhm.
Apple Podcast, Spotify, and many others. Our video version is available on Spotify. Follow us on X and Facebook and all that sort of thing. Leave reviews and comments and all that sort of jazz. Killing the Flower, they wrote our theme song. Make sure you check them out on music streaming services. MJ Honeybee, thank you very much for being in chat. Again, follow her account on Twitch for Dead by Daylight streams. We will be doing with her and others a Mario Kart stream coming up soon. And Mike on our regular anime podcast is he's TrackMouse34 on YouTube. So make sure you give him a follow for racing videos. And I think that's all our stuff here. And Andrea, thanks very much for making this happen tonight. And thank you all for joining me once again.
Of course. As always, cheers, everybody.